Hey guys, Sirius here. As promised, here's the recording. I um I felt it'd be better to get this out of the way and just not put it off. So, here it is. Um all right, first things first. Tonight I'm going to be talking about a lot of things, and so I'll try to keep it short. The first thing is why I've been away for so long, just from DeviantArt and other sites like Tumblr and stuff, and why the Christmas special took so long to come out. And I will also be going over some things I said in the journal that may need more clarification. Alright, first order of business. Um, you already know what happened with the drama. I don't really feel like I need to talk about it much again. I'd probably just be repeating myself a lot, so let's kind of skip that for now. If anyone asks, if anyone wants to know, just send me a PM or just leave a comment asking about it, and I'll try to fill you in. Anyway, the reason I've been on hiatus, just a self-imposed hiatus, and I've just been gone from DeviantArt and Tumblr for a while, is because, well, I thought I'd get ridiculed again. I call it ridicule because that's what it was. It wasn't harassment or anything, it was literally just people shitposting and insulting me and just trying to make me look bad. And harassment and ridicule are very different things. So, I mean, considering I'm putting it that way, it may seem silly to you. Literally, you're leaving for that long just because you got insulted? Alright, you seem pretty thin-skinned, serious, but, just try to look at it from my perspective. If you take a break from social media for a while, and you decide to come back, if the first thing you came back to was just an inbox full of ridicule, basically, would you still want to come back? Would you leave again because of the hatred you're getting? And honestly, I don't know what would have happened if I had come back to DeviantArt and it was just some more insults. I probably would have left again for even longer, maybe. I don't know. I do agree, though, it is pretty silly just to leave because of a few insults. I mean, the people who commented on the journal are just literally teenagers, maybe older, I don't know, who are just who get bullied in real life and are bitter about it, so they take it out online and they go after anyone who criticizes them. It's pretty pathetic, honestly, and it's really not something to take to heart. Um, but alright. That's kind of unfair of me to say. I mean, I want to just take a neutral stance here, and I feel it'd be pretty irresponsible to just attack people again or make fun of them in kind of retaliation. I wanted to discuss this rationally and as an adult, so there you are. Um, As for why the Christmas special itself took so long, there was the hiatus. I needed a break from DeviantArt. I'd been needing one for a while, and the call-out journal, like the whole thing surrounding that, just kind of cemented it. And the special just took me in general like a long time to make. I used Flash to draw each individual frame, and I'm very slow when it comes to that. I'm much better at drawing in Paint Tool SI, just like faster in general. So that was kind of the reason, like, I just took a really long time to draw each frame, and I wasn't making much progress very fast. It was very frustrating for me. I was trying so hard to do just that, and I was getting nowhere, no matter how hard I tried to do the opposite. Like, just the sheer amount of work I did, it didn't really matter in the end, because at the end of the day, the animation wasn't done, and it was long overdue. So, yeah. And I know I don't even have to talk about it now. Like, me uploading the Christmas special at this point and recording myself talking, just all of this, it calls attention to the drama. And that's honestly something I wouldn't want tarnishing my reputation if I do have one. Um, I could easily let this go. But again, I figure it's the responsible thing to do to just give my opinion on it and explain as to what's been going on. I mean, me just showing up without any explanation whatsoever and just uploading the special at this time, as I said before, would be just a pretty irresponsible thing to do. Um, I am not a professional by any means. I am actually an amateur, and if I do get more of a reputation and my work becomes more popular, I will I will act more professionally. Um, as for the other things I wanted to discuss, I believe I said earlier, like, just I was going to talk about the things I wrote in the journal and just kind of the responses people had to them. Um, the first thing I really took issue with was the language Matsu used. I think that's a nickname Tusandastic goes by now. I don't know, but as you know, they use language I thought was ableist, and I I really didn't like that. So I just that was one of the things I went over in the journal, and I'm honestly fine with people using that language now. I'm not saying you should do it to actually hurt someone, but just using it casually, like saying, "Oh, that's stupid," or like, "Oh, that person is an idiot." You know, things like that. I'm fine with it. It's really not offensive, and I think I just kind of overreacted when I saw it being like just language like that being used. Um, so basically, use it if you want. I'm fine with it. It's not my job to police people, and I believe in freedom of speech. So, yeah, use it if you want. Um, as for the other thing, like just the whole deal with the art trade, I remember I got pretty uncomfortable when I saw the picture of Lady and Zakona just being paired in kind of an intimate fashion. And that's mainly because Zakona is my fursona. I just, if someone went ahead and just shipped me with someone I didn't really know, or just like a character I kind of uh, had problems with, then I'd have problems with it. Like, it would just make me really uncomfortable in general, and it did back then. And there was the whole, like, abuse thing, and, the age difference that I talked about. Um, I know I've sounded kind of negative here thus far, but kind of like how I talked about the language earlier and how I'm fine with that. I'm actually fine with Lydia and Zakona being paired together, basically, even though I did take issue with that pairing. Um, Now that I've had more of a chance to develop these characters, to like flesh out their personalities and backstories and whatnot, I think it could actually work. They could be a couple, maybe. They've got a lot of chemistry and they've had history together. Like, Liddy and Violet are actually going to become major characters in my webcomic, and Liddy in particular is going to be friends of Kona. So they're just going to hang out with each other a lot. And again, now that I've had time to develop them more, I can see it happening. Like, I can see them just being a couple. I actually kind of ship it myself now, if you can believe it. I have like a name for the pairing. I call it Lidoka. It's just like a portmanteau of Lady and Zakona's names. But so yeah, in summary, I'm fine with Zakona and Liddy being shipped together. You can do that if you want. Like, I believe that people should be allowed to ship what they want, and just, I don't think anyone should police them and say that they can't do that, because that's incredibly controlling, and, you know. Yeah, it's fine. Go ahead and pair them together if you want. I kind of do it myself now, so I'm not going to yell at anyone for it this time. But as for the other stuff in the journal, like the art trade itself, like just how long that took and everything, I worked it out. It's all kind of over now, and just everyone went away. It's all good. I really should have given more information and just not expected people to go along with what I wanted and just to be able to do what I want. I really should have given more information, but that was kind of my fault for not just being more specific with what I wanted, and just, you know, error on my part. It's inexcusable, but what can you do? There's one more thing I have to talk about, and I'm not really proud to do so, but it kind of needs to be said. To the people I've linked to this video, I linked you guys because I I feel like you need to hear this. I am someone who has a lot of problems, both physical and emotional, and it's kind of hard for me to admit that, but I think it's pretty obvious to people. Normal people don't act the way I have in the past, and well, if you were subscribed to me on YouTube back when I was first active on there, in, say, 2009, 2011 and onward, you may have noticed just the way I acted. I must have seemed like a very antisocial person, just really mean at times, and I'm well aware that I basically was. It's difficult to say why I acted the way I did. I don't even really understand it myself sometimes. I was just going through some very hard and complicated times at that point, and I was just feeling a lot of complex emotions, and I didn't really know how to voice this in a positive way, and I guess I kind of took it out on people. I don't know. I wish I hadn't acted that way, but I really wish I didn't. I regret it almost every day. But, it's me. When I screw up, even if I learn from my actions, I do it all over again. Um, so that was why I acted the way I did. I didn't really have a filter, basically, that would allow me to think about doing things before I posted them. And I never really thought about the consequences of what posting those things would entail. It's basically a case of it seemed like a good idea at the time, even though things I thought were good to post were, and like most of those ended up really being not good. So, I'm kind of rambling. My point is, I really dislike the way I used to act. I'm trying to work towards being more mature and just thinking before I post, basically. I have more of a filter than I ever did that just allows me to really go over things, and it helps. Um, I, again, I was going through some pretty hard times back then, and I have a lot of emotional problems as a result. And I think I wouldn't have made the call out journal, and I think those problems would just be a lot easier to deal with if you guys were there for me more. And what I mean by that is, it feels like our relationship isn't even a relationship sometimes. We're acquaintances, not friends. Um, I'm not saying you guys are bad friends or anything. It feels like you're rarely there. Um, I mean, I make things for you, and you thank me for it. I don't know if I can even, like, say anything bad about our relationship, because you guys are there for me. You tolerate it when I screw up. It just feels like you're not there enough. I mean, none of my friends make things in return for the things I make for them. They don't invite me out. They don't, like, ask me to chat on Skype with them, or just, like, go somewhere, or, just to hang out. Um, they don't give feedback when I ask for it. You guys basically don't do any of this. Sometimes I wish you would understand how that makes me feel. Um, it really hurts that people won't acknowledge my existence. Like, sometimes I feel like I don't exist because, again, no one is there for me when I need them. Everyone basically ignores me. And you guys basically do that. Um, I mean, Anna, are you really okay with us talking only once or twice a year? Because that's what it feels like sometimes. Carmen, you'll defend Zammy, someone who has no idea who you are, but you won't defend me, your friend? That's cold, man. I. This has been going on for years, guys. If I don't ever talk about this, it's not going to get better. Things aren't going to change. I hate having to say this, but I wish you would be there for me and not leave me in the dark like this. It's basically what everyone does. All of my friends do this, not just you guys. Um, I know I'm kind of a hypocrite for just making an issue out of this next, because, I never really invite people anywhere. I don't talk to my friends much. I'm not really there for them either, but the thing is, I'm a very socially awkward person. If a person, if someone I'm friends with isn't really there for me on a daily basis, and they rarely message me or whatever, I feel like they don't want to message me. And if it goes on long enough, then I feel like they won't want anything to do with me. Like they're wondering why we're even friends. And I kind of just shut down when that happens. I know I could improve the relationship by just going out of my way to talk to people more. But even when I do that, even when I instigate conversations or invite people out myself, or just, again, even when I make things for people, they basically say thanks and go right back to what they were doing. There's no extended conversation or just anything really on my friend's part. And I just really wish people could be there for me when I need them. To the people I linked to this journal, I'm going to have to ask you to leave a response in the comments. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot or anything. I just, I want to see what your opinions are on this. If you really dislike that I took so long, just come back and all. I'd be glad to just discuss it with you. We need to do it soon, or things aren't going to be fixed. As for how emotional the Christmas special was, I know it's sad and all, but I'm not really trying to get people to feel bad for me. I'm not trying to gain sympathy. I just wanted to tell a story. I suppose I'll just wrap up with this. New comics and art coming soon. Good night.